This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. The pregame show is sponsored by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. Do you live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Looking for a car that isn't new but is new to you? Midway's got it. Over 150 pre-owned cars, trucks, and sport utilities now at Midway in Kearney. And each comes with a 30-day exchange privilege. Midway Auto Dealerships in Kearney, Nebraska, or thinkmidway.com.
NCN Sports is presented by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. Liberty First Credit Union. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Teammates Mentoring. Join the team. Be a mentor. Visit teammates.org today. Tom Dinsdale Automotive. Celebrating 20 years, Tom Dinsdale Automotive is proud to be community-driven. And by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Did you know that Teammates Mentoring is the largest school-based mentoring program in the nation? But we still need your help. Over 500 students are waiting for a mentor like you. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them to reach their full potential. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good to Go Convenience Store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good to Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good to Go post-game snacks.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
Landmark Implement is your local authorized John Deere dealer. Landmark's trained and certified sales staff will help you find the right equipment for your needs, all backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. Whether it's a tractor, planter, combine, lawn and garden tractor, or gator, every piece of equipment in our inventory is ready to work hard for your operation. Landmark's team works together to make sure everything that is sold meets their quality standards. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or learn more at landmarkimp.com to experience the Landmark difference.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you've got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
This broadcast is brought to you by Currency.
At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
Spring is here. For farmers, making safety a priority this planting season can be the difference between life and death. Always look out for power lines before exiting the cab, when loading and transporting machinery, and when raising or unfolding equipment. Keep equipment at least 20 feet from power lines and use a spotter when possible. Be aware of what's overhead. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
Darling, I believe everything's gonna be alright. No need to worry because you got somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at, we got your back. We got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
Ready to upgrade your ride to the next level of performance and luxury? Visit Midway today and explore our stunning lineup of over 110 new Buicks and GMCs. Midway Chevrolet Buick GMC in Kearney or thinkmidway.com/GM.
Senior number 24, Drake Sport.
Welcome back. Moments away from the Central Nebraska Tournament
Championship between Kearney and Lexington. Let's take a look at our school spotlight brought to you by Currency, which makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. Visit gocurrency.com. Kearney, population of 34,000 plus. They are the Bearcats, and they are a proud soccer program. Coach, you'll remember not long ago, 2018, they brought home their lone state title, also with a runner-up in 2009.
Just an absolutely wonderful program. You know, you think about the history that Coach Steinberg has put in here. Really, really just great program, great kids, and can't say enough good things about them.
Flip side for Lexington. Again, this is an A versus B matchup, which is a whole other added layer to this match. And they're in Dawson County, a little bit further west down I-80, enrollment 670. The Minutemen, their two best finishes in recent history as a program, two runners-up in 21 and 22.
Definitely a program that's used to being at Morrison at the end of the year. I think it's really neat when you see whether it's Kearney, Grand Island, Columbus, Lex, these outstate schools getting an opportunity to showcase their talents at Morrison Stadium for the state tournament. Good stuff, and Lex definitely one of those pillars that you can always expect to see there come May.
Glad that you're with us. Schuyler ended up finishing third in this competition, just defeated Grand Island 3-2. These were the four teams that got together for this weekend. Four proud soccer programs and communities. These are the two teams that came out on top of the semis yesterday. It was a 3-1 victory for Kearney, and Lexington, I believe, also 3-1 over Grand Island. And so that's how they got to this point to play for the first ever Central Nebraska Tournament Championship.
Great event. You start looking across the state and you see an awful lot of these traveling trophies, these trophy games, and now starting to see some of these little individualized tournaments that get put together. And again, I can't stress it enough, for outstate Nebraska, having an opportunity for these teams to get together and showcase is wonderful to see.
Kearney sitting at 5-2. Had a rough opening weekend. They defeated Lincoln High, but then got smacked by Papillion La Vista South. That was Coach Steinbrook's own words in that game, 4-2, or 4-1 rather. And then they went up to Norfolk and lost 3-4. And he said, that loss is looking a lot better now when you see what the Panthers are doing up in Northeast Nebraska. But since that defeat, they've rattled off 4 in a row at North Platte, Omaha Buena Vista, Lincoln Northeast, and then yesterday against Schuyler.
I think Kearney's just definitely one of those programs that just continually gets better as the season goes, and obviously a credit to that coaching staff getting them ready.
Well, we're glad that you're here for the flip side. Lexington 7-1. Their only loss to Hastings. The Tigers are sitting at 4-0 right now. They've defeated Columbus, Pius, Scott, York, South Sioux City, North Platte, and of course Grand Island yesterday. So glad that you're with us for this contest. When you look at these opponents, Coach, Lexington runs a 3-5-2, and you also have 4 in the back rather for Kearney, and more of that traditional 4 in the back approach for their formation.
Yeah, I think that you're going to see as the game, you can see it right now already. Lex is going to want to keep possession, play the ball wide, and Kearney again is going to sit back. Now, I think the other part that we got to watch and pay attention to is obviously the conditions. And so you've got Lex going into a pretty stiff wind right now and Kearney going with that wind. And so we'll see tactically if that makes any difference to how these teams at least get things started here.
I said that 4 in the back specifically. It's a 4-3-3 that Kearney will at least start out with, according to Coach Steinbrook. And he gave us the starting lineups before yesterday's semifinal. Like a good soccer coach, he's already tinkered and switched some things. They had difficulties in the first half when it was 0-0. And then he put his strongest players in the midfield, and that yielded good results as they netted 3 goals in the second half, ultimately in that 3-1 win.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be really interesting to see how they try to cover for Garner not being in the game. And especially this first half, I'd really expect to see Kearney to try playing direct and getting things going. Got a little bit of breeze at their back, and test that back 3 for Lex really early and see if they can get something going.
So we'll take a look at the starting lineups here, the starting 11 for each team. The Kearney 11, again, slightly altered from what you're going to see on the screen, but we talked about Slaymaker, 8 goals to his name. Aiden Nutter, another great weapon up top. Drake Schwartz rounds out the attacking 3. Eklund, the CAM, 2 defensive mids, and Rahi and Harder, and then the back line of Larson, Coates, Kratzel, and Kester, with Schwartz stepping in at the goalie spot this season. Just a sophomore, but Coach Steinbrook really likes what Schwartz offers between the sticks. Flip side, starting 11 now for the Lexington Minutemen. And you have Maravilla and Leyva up top. Leyva was the one who got the scoring started against Grand Island. Also had an assist in that semifinal match. Then you have Navarrete, one of the wings alongside Zamora. 2 CAMs in Lima, Miranda, and Garcia Villa de Leon, who we talked about. Defensive mid of Lima. And then the back defenders in Caballero, Lima, and Raymundo Vale in goal. So when you look at this Lexington team, Coach, they like to possess and push as a team. Coach Lemu said, we really put a concerted effort on doing everything together as a unit on the pitch. And you're not going to see a ton of long balls from this Minutemen team. You hear the old adage of boom ball and kick it up to somebody fast and try to create something. He said, we really shy away from that. And again, when you have a lot of technical players on the pitch at one time, it allows you to do some of that.
I think something that's standing out early on, even though Kearney's going with the wind, you see the wing backs for Lexington incredibly high up the pitch. And so really leaving that back three isolated with the Kearney forward. So if Kearney can get the ball behind those wing backs, I think they're going to have all kinds of opportunity to at least get counterattack going.
You saw one there, Leyva springing in an attack for the Minutemen. Got a shot off. It was deflected by the Kearney back line. Chance here for Kearney to try to counter, and it's ushered out of play. Throw in for the Bearcats. Nutter quickly takes it, and a real chance for Kearney. Look out, it's headed and into the net. Kearney strikes first. Flags are down by the AR side, and the Bearcats, less than 5 minutes in, get on the score sheet. Here's another look, Coach. You had the keeper come out. It was flicked up by Petsit and then headed home to put the Bearcats up 1-0. And who else but Slaymaker?
Yeah, I think that's definitely just kind of what we were talking about there with anytime you play with that 3-5-2 formation, your wingbacks get high. That back post is really kind of the place to attack, because unless the weak side wingback is getting back and marking, it's going to be really difficult for that right-sided center back in that case to be able to cover all that space. And so, yeah, a little bit of a fortuitous bounce there, but it'll be interesting to see if there's any adjustments there.
We have an injured player. It's the keeper, Vale. And so we'll take a break here, but the Bearcats, they strike early, 1-0 here in the Central Nebraska Championship on NCN.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Did you know that Teammates Mentoring is the largest school-based mentoring program in the nation? But we still need your help. Over 500 students are waiting for a mentor like you. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them to reach their full potential. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Hey, sports fans, heading to the big game tonight? Make sure you stop by Speedy Mart before you hit the stadium. Fuel up your car and grab your favorite snacks and drinks to keep your energy high. Whether it's chips, soda, or a quick meal, Speedy Mart has everything you need to kick off your game night right. Don't miss out. Swing by Speedy Mart for all your pre-game essentials.
Speedy Mart, snacks before the game.
Here's a look at what happened. A friendly fire, as you put it, Coach. Defender running into the goalie, and you saw the assist from Petsit to Slaymaker, who finishes with the head, but volley rather, just being taken off the pitch now with the Gator. Not seeming like he'll be back for this one, and based on our statistics and our roster, that means Alexis Arriaga will be coming in.
Well, big spot for the kid, and you never want to see someone get their opportunity coming after an injury, and you certainly hope that the starting goalkeeper can shake that off, but unfortunately it looked like he was in quite a bit of pain, so you always hate to see that.
So Vale, a junior, according to our statistics that we have, he's logged 440 minutes this season. Arriaga, a senior who's coming in, has logged 205. So he's played about a third, or a half rather, of the amount of minutes Vale has, but it's not like he hasn't been in there this season.
Good, that'll definitely help him, just obviously with the nerves and that type of thing, so having that little bit of experiences. And I think that's really important that coaches do that throughout the beginning part of the season too, getting some of these kids some minutes, so when they do get called on, they've got those nerves shaken out.
But as things stand, 5th-minute goal by Slaymaker here early on, his 9th of the season. As the Bearcats get to this 1-0 early lead. And we've seen this before. We may see a long throw into the box, sort of a staple of a Scott Steinbrook Bearcat team. This time the Lexington Minutemen deal with it easily and are trying to spring a counter here. A lot of space to work with as Garcia brings it up. And well done by the keeper Schwartz to come out off his line.
Well, they definitely recognized an opportunity there and didn't feel the need to slow it down and try to keep possession there. That's, when I was talking with Coach Steinbrook beforehand, he brought that up, that it's just a little bit different for Lex. They like to try to hit you a little bit faster, and we'll even play over the top a little bit more than what they've done. So I think that's exactly what you saw there. And sometimes putting that ball in behind when you're going into the wind is definitely a lot easier too, because the ball will hold up and doesn't travel to the keeper as fast or roll out for those goal kicks. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Lex keep firing away here.
Right on cue. Ball dealt with there by Krotzel. He's hard to miss. 6'3" at the center of the defense. You have 6'2" and 6'3" for your center backs for Kearney.
That's prototypical Kearney. That is as much of a staple as that long throw that you referenced.
It's Krotzel and Coates, the two big bodies in the middle of that back four.
I think we're going to have a corner kick there, so this should be interesting.
First corner of the match for Lex. Take a short one and now send it in. Dangerous ball, but nothing that will bother Schwartz. Battle in the midfield, a chance for the Bearcats to try to spring another attack. Searching for Nutter. And it's ushered out of play. A reminder that this first half, it's brought to you by John Henry's, Our Family Serving Yours. John Henry's our first half sponsor here in Kearney for the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship. Ball at the feet of Raimundo. He goes down. No foul now with Lima. Lexington getting bodies forward. Back to Lima. And a shot from distance. Well high. That came from Zamora.
Yeah, and Zamora's coming in off of that right wing back spot. So again, Lexington really playing with high wing backs and wanting to put an awful lot of pressure on Kearney. It can be kind of that double-edged sword. It creates space behind you, but it also, if you're in possession of the ball, it's going to keep the Kearney outside backs back as well. And so, I think that's definitely something that they're stressing with these kids, because regardless of where the wind's at and what's Kearney's doing behind them, they're still keeping them high.
Here comes Maravilla. Lays it off to Raimundo. Dangerous ball into the box. Lexington still not allowing Kearney out of their defensive third. And it'll be a Minuteman throw. Zamora. Cleared out by Larson. Nutter unable to get there. And now Yam working it up the side to Raimundo. So right now, Coach, Lexington dominating possession and sort of bringing wave after wave of attack. There might be another real good opportunity.
Yeah, again, get that wingback coming up on the side, and it creates numbers and really puts the outside back in a difficult spot for Kearney, trying to figure out, do they go with the forward or get the wingback that's coming from that next level. And so Kearney's really going to have to look, in my mind, to counterattack out wide. The holding midfielder here for Lexington's doing a terrific job of really just kind of occupying the space about 10 to 15 yards in front of that back three. And so the space for Kearney is going to be on the outside.
DM, you referenced Don Lima, a sophomore in the middle of the pitch for Lexington.
Definitely he's playing very disciplined. He really seems to understand his role, not trying to do too much in the attack, but just always scanning right to left and trying to figure out who that outlet's going to be.
Just past the 10-minute mark here in the first half of the Central Nebraska Championship. Kearney leading 1-0. The goal came in the 5th minute. Assist from Andrew Petzet to Caden Slaymaker. The difference thus far. Also on that goal, starting keeper Gelvin Volley for Lexington knocked out of the game. We're unsure if he will be able to return. Currently being checked out by training staff. Alexis Arriaga now in between the sticks for Lexington.
And just simple balls like that back to his feet will bring him into the game as well. And so I know that when you see a replacement goalkeeper come in, you want to test him right away. And Kearney really hasn't had any of the ball to be able to do that. So just those simple touches, getting back to the keeper's feet, are going to give him additional confidence as the game wears on.
Looks like we have a free kick awarded to Lexington. Back near midfield. Taken quickly. Lima dropping it all the way back to Cruz. Back to Cruz again. Sends it back towards the box. Good ball, a little bit too much on it.
And I know we talked about maybe some style changes between the two teams, but I think they're definitely just going right back to suit. One of the things that over the years when you played Kearney, you would talk to your team before the game and just understand the importance of the first goal, because the first goal against Kearney would really bring them out of their shell. And if you give them the opportunity to sit back and remain organized defensively, it's just really hard to crack that code. And so I think you're seeing that right now with Kearney already, just kind of sitting back and being a little bit patient, looking for their opportunities to hit on the counterattack. But right now we've just when you're Kearney, you don't see enough of the ball, and so I don't know where the attack's going to come from. That midfield's going to have to step up and gain a little bit of possession here for the Bearcats.
Seeing here if it's I believe, Kearney free kick. Another look at the foul here on the Beatrice Community Hospital instant replay. I believe it may have been Leyva the guilty party. Here comes the free kick for the Bearcats. It's right where you want to put it. Dangerous ball off the head of another Kearney player and cleared for the time being. Arriaga did enough.
Yeah, Lex really set that line quite deep. I was surprised because with the wind, you knew the ball then's going to get played into the 6 and create a lot of mayhem. And so would have liked to see them put that, hold that line a little bit higher.
And now we'll see Kronsel with the big throw back in. Bouncing around. But Lexington does deal with the danger.
It is danger. Anytime you got those long throws, I mean, it's just such a weapon to have, the players on your team that can put those balls into those dangerous areas, and you just never know what's going to happen when the ball starts getting bounced around.
As a coach, how are you coaching up your players? Not only for corners, but those big throws.
Yeah, I mean, for years we would talk to our kids about not allowing, do everything you can because it's essentially a corner kick anytime that, you're 35 yards or so from goal because, the Bearcats always got somebody that can check that ball in. And then they actually run design plays off of it where, you see them thrown specifically to near post with a flick to the back post. And so, I mean, it's just incredibly dangerous. So, in preparation, you talk to your specifically back line, but also the midfield about not giving up cheap possession. And if they can, turn and just clear the ball up the middle, high and up the middle, as opposed to just knocking the ball out just because you don't want to, give those kids that opportunity. And it's also mentally fatiguing, too. I mean, you just, because you talk about it in training sessions and preparation so much that when it continues to happen, the kids start getting frustrated because they understand the danger that comes with that.
Just past 15 in, still 1-0. Central Nebraska Tournament Championship. We have an offsides that was waived about 30 seconds ago now being awarded. Seems over the past 5-ish minutes or so, Coach, that, well, as I say that, here comes Lexington. Ball sent into the box, off the chest, outside to Zamora. A great opportunity there for Lexington. They send it back in. Kearney defense blocking the shots.
Yeah, the Bearcats definitely dodged a bullet there, and they're going to have to talk a little bit, I think, about how those wingbacks are coming off that second level because it's really putting the outside backs into a heck of a predicament. You see number 8 here for Kearney. I mean, unfortunately, he's got his head on a swivel because he's got a forward that's inside of him, and he's got the wingback that's on the outside of him. So now you see him asking for some help from the outside, player here, trying to get back and get a little bit. But here's where Lexington's going to stretch it because the ball's going to come right back out to this wingback, and here we go again.
Seeing a lot of success on this left side here early on. Raimundo drawing 2 defenders. This time Kearney takes it away and looks to spring a counter. Ball now up to Nutter. And that'll go harmlessly to Arriaga. I was about to say, Coach, before that last sequence that Kearney seemed to have rather weathered the storm the past 5 or so minutes and was dealing better with the attacks that Lexington had been bringing.
Yeah, traditionally, the kids that are playing in that back line for Kearney, they don't get rattled. And just, the thing that you just hear time and time again about Kearney defense is just absolutely disciplined. They don't beat themselves. And, here we go with another long throw. And at some point in time, Lexington's going to have to stop giving these opportunities to these guys.
They dealt with the first. Looks like there'll be another. You'd say from 25 yards out that maybe you're safe, but I don't know if that's the case. And another one going right back towards the box. That's Kronsel.
We got one a little bit deeper now, so this is where I think they're really dangerous because they'll have somebody run near post and look for that flick and see if you get something on that backside.
There's the flick. Lexington able to get it away. It was the flick off of a Lexington defender. But now Kearney applying a little pressure here, keeping the ball on their half, their offensive half, I should say. Battle in the middle of the pitch. Lexington comes out on top. Now to Lima. And Lexington switching fields here.
Here's the opportunity.
Well, they're trying to get it to Nutter.
That wind's just so tough, putting those through balls through. I think the second half, that ball's going to hold up, and then we're going to have a foot race to see who can actually get to the ball first. But right now, I'd like to see Kearney go a little bit more diagonal than just trying to go straight ahead when they get that opportunity. You got Slaymaker out there on that left side, and that's an opportunity for them to start cutting across. Because, again, with three in the back as opposed to that fourth player and with the wingbacks high, there's going to be space outside wide behind those wingbacks.
Just past the halfway point, 20 minutes gone, 1 goal scored, 1-0 is the score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Go green with E15 and fill up at your nearest A-stop today. That goal coming courtesy of Caden Slaymaker, which gives him 9 on the season for the Kearney Junior. Reminder that high school sports on News Channel Nebraska is presented by Currency. If your business needs financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers, all you need is Currency. Visit gocurrency.com. Also thanks to presenting sponsors Teammates Mentoring. Join the team, be a mentor, and go to teammates.org today, as well as Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com.
Yeah, just a little bit of impatience there. You see that when Kearney gets the ball, they're just really looking to get ahead instead of just trying to keep the ball a little bit. And I think Coach Steinbrook will be okay with that, just from the standpoint it's 60 yards away from the goal. They're defending with a 1-0 lead, but at some point in time, they're going to have to find a little bit of possession here.
You hear it too, not even trying to draw comparisons to what's happening here today, but watching the EPL or whatever. And is there ever you could score too early, and then where it dictates your play to a more conservative style for the majority of the game, that perhaps you're more better served had you not scored, 5 minutes or less in? Where do you stand on that as a coach? And
well, I mean, anytime you can get the lead, I definitely want it. But that being said, I think in a game where Kearney's your opponent, I can't stress enough how just traditionally it's always been so important to get that first one in the net. It didn't matter when it came out. Great move there.
Look out, what a save. And Kearney dodging a bullet there. Schwartz, the keeper, with some heroics. It was a great individual effort. And we had another look at it here. Splitting to the defense, that was Zamora. Almost got it under Schwartz's feet, but he did enough.
Those are the things you don't teach. There's no tactics. That's just pure talent there. And so, when you have those kids that have that flair, definitely want to encourage them to continue to do that type of stuff anytime they get those opportunities.
Be sure to stay tuned for our halftime highlights. They're brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Check them out in Lincoln or Grand Island. Our Sartor Heyman Jewelers halftime highlights coming up in 17 minutes.
A little bit of frustration there, but also just a chance to reset for Kearney.
And Lexington clears it. Up to Slaymaker, who tries to flick it to the middle of the pitch. And that Lexington back line again dealing with it. Be a Kearney throw.
You can certainly see it from up here in the booth, and I know that Coach Steinbrook and Coach Lima see it down on the field too. But anytime Kearney's here on this right side, if they can, they're going to get Slaymaker one-on-one matched up with that right-sided center back, and so you want the ball going to that playmaker with all that space, and it's going to be there. So it's just a matter of getting the execution, and can the midfield find that pivot and get the ball diagonally on the ground through there to him to put him in an opportunity to put some pressure on.
Another opportunity here for Lexington. Ball at the feet of Lima, and it's in. The Minutemen equalize.
Yeah, that was tough. Really good turn, hitting the ball far post. Not much goalkeeper's going to be able to do about that.
Well worth another look. Lima settles it at the top of the box, gets it on his right foot, and as you said, to the post and in. 25th minute goal. We're tied 1-1 here in Kearney.
Well, we're going to have 15 minutes here to see if there's any changes of play at all. I know that, I'm not saying that Kearney was content with a 1-0 win, but now we're going to have to come out of our shell again and get forward. And so, I expect to see them, especially with the wind. I definitely would want to put Slaymaker an opportunity to go 1v1 against somebody on that back line. And so in order to do that, you got to get forward.
Dean Lima, his first goal of the season, another one of those 3-year starters we talked about, how Nelson Garcia was one, Lima the other 3-year starter who's been here since he's a sophomore, and he gets his team back level as that goes out for a goal kick.
Got another wing back overlapping there. Obviously, got a new player in there, number 10, and when you play the style that Lex is, those wing backs are going to have to be fit, and so having backups that can come in and continue to put the pressure on is going to be really critical for how they play. And so you saw it right there. There was no fear in 10 coming forward, and that space is just really, really difficult for that Kearney back line to cover.
You now have Jose Navarrete in and on that attacking line for Lexington. That's who they're trying to work the ball up to. Navarrete has 2 goals and an assist to his name this season.
Kind of feels like Kearney's settled a little bit more into like a 4-2-3-1 type formation. It seems they've got a couple of very structured holding midfielders with more of kind of a number 10 sitting in front of them, and with a traditional 9 in the middle. So we'll see if we can get those forwards a little bit forward for Kearney, and see if that Minuteman back line of 3 can stay organized. But really, really good job of the holding midfielder from Lexington, just making sure that you can see him right here a little bit further outside than he's been in the past, but really trying to figure out who that play's trying to go through and disrupting the flow of the game for him.
You have Eklund and Rahi at those 2 defensive mid spots that you just referenced for the Bearcats. Trying to protect that back line. We're now under 13 to go before halftime. Glad you're with us, News Channel Nebraska High School Soccer, the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship. Here on NCN, it's presented by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com. How did we get to the 1-1 scoreline? 5th minute goal by Caden Slaymaker for Kearney, and as we just saw, the equalizer coming 20 minutes later, courtesy of Adine Lima for Lexington.
Again, Lexington really setting their line deep, allowing this ball to get played in, and I would be surprised. Here it comes right into the box.
Slaymaker with it, goes down in the box. Referee says get up, no foul. Lexington looked to counter. Well, be sure to stay tuned for our halftime show brought to you by Visit Kearney. You can find it all in Kearney.
Slaymaker getting a little bit of a talking to. I think the referee thought he was maybe trying to draw that penalty and basically saying I'm not going to have any of that. So wouldn't be surprised that if you see Slaymaker getting the ball, trying to stay up a little bit more this time.
Battle here for the ball. We're still playing, and now Kearney will win.
Well, you got that call right
the
there.
Free kick. All right. Here's another look at that whole sequence.
This is really tough again. I mean, I understand kind of what Lex is doing, but you know, when you set that line in so deep and allow this ball to get played in, it's going to be right on the keeper's gloves.
And there it is. Takes a deflection.
One of the things we like to do in that situation was, especially if the opponent was going with the wind, is try to set the line as high as we could, because it was so hard to control a ball played behind the back line where the goalkeeper couldn't get to it, but also keep it kind of out of danger. So, you know, that's something that, well, and here comes another one of these throws here, Brandon. So
again, coming from Krotzel. And he'll be kicking in college. Sends a ball across, goes harmlessly out of play.
It's been an interesting 30 minutes. As much as we've felt like Lexington's been in control of the game, control of possession, it seems like Kearney has had just a plethora of long throws and balls getting played into the box. So, you know, again, just kind of the way that if you would have asked before the game how you expected it to go, I think right now it's pretty much to a T what we would have expected.
We talked about, you know, Scott for Kearney said that, yeah, this is more technical and you won't see necessarily all of the same stuff you've seen before, even though we've seen a lot of that, and that's part of the DNA of this program. He said that 2018 team was the best team skill-wise he's probably had as a coach, but that this team here rivals that related to the skill across the board that he can put on the pitch at one time. Now, wondering how much you remember of that team back in 2018.
I remember it really well because I think we were one of the only teams that beat them that year.
That's right. Yep.
So I'll lead with that. But no, wonderful team, and talk about a defensive team that was just incredible. They had a terrific goalkeeper. I believe they won 3 games at the state tournament by scoring 2 goals. And you know, if you ask well, how that happens, you win a couple games 1-0. And then you end up in the other one going to penalties and winning that one as well. And so, you know, when you think about the fact that they played 3 games at Morrison and didn't concede during open play is just, you know, phenomenal. And it was their style of play. It's what they were known for. And you know, definitely, you know, put that star on their shirt that, you know, I know they're so proud of. And really, I mean, everybody in western Nebraska was in central Nebraska was excited about that, finally getting somebody that you know, hoisted the trophy from other than the Metro.
Well, your memory serves you correct, and yeah, it was the gauntlet that they went through of, you know, the powerhouses of the Metro. 1-0 shootout victory over Creighton Prep in the first round, then Omaha South 1-0, and then final was against Westside 1-0.
Yeah, what a run. What a run.
1-1 here currently as we're under 8 to play in this first half. Kearney and Lex deadlocked. Our coverage is brought to you in part thanks to Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com.
Congratulations to Nebraska men's basketball. They've defeated Boise State 79-69 today. They'll move on to the championship for the college basketball crown tomorrow.
Really something, too, about the Lex program. I mean, they've had some just out of this world talent as well, and you think about some of the midfield play that they've had run through their program, and kids that have gone on to the next level. Just the amount of terrific stars that have come out of that program, and again, we talked about it earlier, but how well they've represented Western Nebraska at the state tournaments. Just really, really something to see.
To that point, 3 of the past 4 years, they've been in that state championship, 2021, 2022, and then last year falling to Scott 2-0. But again, yep, they have been that staple for Class B, as you just pointed out. And Coach Lemus says this team has all of the talent and capabilities in the world to get back to the state title game, if not perhaps win the first ever in program history.
Well, it would be fitting. It absolutely would. Just again, we harp about the history of these programs, and to have the opportunity to play in those state finals, and I think Lexington's time's coming, and it very well may be this year. A little bit of a change, though, obviously, this year, too, with the changes with schools that have moved from Class A to Class B. And so, we've got a different field of teams, and trying to understand how the enrollment and classifications work, definitely would still be a challenge for Lex to get there. And so, perhaps even more rewarding if they were able to do it this year as opposed to get their first one as in the past. So.
As we have a free kick for Kearney, the landscape of Class B, 1 through 10. It's Hastings, Bennington, Lexington. This is according to wildcard points on the NSA website, as this ball is sent in off the head of, it looked like, Nutter, but not hard for Arriaga to deal with. And that'll be out of play for a throw. But you have Lexington at 3, Kearney Catholic 4, Elkhorn North 5. Then you have Mount Michael 6, Scott 7, Gross Catholic 8, Gretna 9, Schuyler tied at 9, and then Waverly and Scotts Bluff at 11 and 12. You also had, I think, Pius, you were referring to, with the classification changes dropping down from A to B. And stacked field, if you will.
It is. Tons of parity just across the state at the Class A and Class B levels without any question.
Interesting, too, you heard all of the coaches in preparation for this game talking about this specific tournament where you have B and A teams going against one another, and you sometimes, depending on the schools and athletic directors and head coaches, if you're an A team, why should I play a good B team? Because it could hurt my wild card points, and is it worth the risk of doing? And vice versa, B going against an A. You don't have that here. You have programs wanting to play good soccer, go up against the best and see what happens.
Yeah, I think anytime you get a chance to, that's a tough ball. Anytime you get a chance to play against the good teams, and it doesn't matter the class level, I think you take it. And, that's, I mentioned it before, but one of the things that I've really admired about Lexington as a perennial Class B power is that early on in the year, they were traditionally going to Omaha and they would play. I think they played Creighton Prep, and they've played, whether it's the Scots and whoever it is, they stepped right into the gauntlet as quick as they could. And sometimes you get teams that are a little bit hesitant to do that, and they'll kind of adjust their schedule to make sure that they've got a little bit easier path to those power points. But at the end of the year, playing against that top competition really is the biggest benefactor.
Free kick will roll out of play for a goal kick. We're nearing 3 minutes to go here in the opening half between Kearney and Lexington. 1-1 your score. Slaymaker scoring in the 5th minute for Kearney, and you have Lima equalizing for Lexington in the 25th.
This game over the last 15 minutes or so has really kind of lost any rhythm, and so it'd be interesting to see what the coaches tell their players at halftime, just in terms of, are we okay with playing a certain style, or do we want to change up and do something different? Because right now there's not a whole lot of possession and not a whole lot of movement, and maybe they're all looking at the clock and just trying to get to halftime. But definitely the last 15 or so has been a little bit ragged.
Heavy collision there on the far side of the pitch. Both players hop up and appear to be okay. That's Clausen, who has the ball currently, who was involved in that collision. Out of play for a Lexington throw. Or maybe a free kick, actually.
Yeah, I think Slaymaker grabbed him a little bit on his way down. Just a little bit of frustration there.
Pass intercepted there by Eklund and knocked out of play. Up to Thorell, he drops it to Perez. And to your point about losing that rhythm in this match, Lexington after that goal, not nearly as many threatening opportunities thus far since. But to your point, you get to halftime and then you make those adjustments and see what happens in the final 40. May get another chance here with just over a minute to play. Ball won by Perez, holding off a couple of Bearcat defenders. And there's some stout Bearcat defense. There's a dangerous ball over the top. Navarrete. Out of Lima, back to Navarrete.
I think he's going to be offside here. Yeah. We're going to have an offside. You can see that coming on the 1-2 that was around the corner over here.
Great shot. Beautiful goal had it counted, but as you pointed out, Coach, you're on top of it. You see on the far side, the AR has his flag up. Goal will not count. Man, that would have been quite the momentum shifter just seconds before halftime.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's halftime.
Well, your first 40 minutes are in the books, and we are tied 1-1 here at halftime of the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship between Kearney and Lexington. Don't go anywhere. Our halftime show is coming up next. You're watching high school soccer on News Channel Nebraska.
A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that muscle tighten, that sharp pain you didn't expect, and suddenly you're stopped in your tracks. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Don't get sidelined by muscle cramps. Stay in the game with KRT.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Looking for a car that isn't new but is new to you? Midway's got it. Over 150 pre-owned cars.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Did you know that Teammates Mentoring is the largest school-based mentoring program in the nation? But we still need your help. Over 500 students are waiting for a mentor like you. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them to reach their full potential. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Welcome back to Kearney High School. 1-1 your score at halftime of the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship between Kearney and Lex. Let's jump right in and take a look at our halftime highlights. They're brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, where they have stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones at their Lincoln and Grand Island location. All right, Coach, this is where we get to see your expertise, and you break down what we see on the screen. This is the first goal coming in the 5th minute by Slaymaker.
Yeah, I've got the quick throw that I think kind of caught Lex a little bit off guard there, and as we said earlier, just that friendly fire. The ball's bouncing, and unfortunately, you got a little bit of miscommunication there. You want to see the goalkeeper making sure he's loud and getting everybody out of the way and coming to that back post.
And in that exchange, volley did go down. The starting keeper, Arriaga, is now in. You saw a lot of dangerous opportunities created by the free kicks and throws of Kearney. Here was a great one for Lexington. Excellent play by the keeper, Schwartz.
Yeah, wonderful save there, and you know the awareness of the Lexington player getting the ball and turning like that. Terrific individual skill.
Another threatening opportunity for Lex. And in fact, I think, this is the goal. Great take by Lima. Settles the ball, slots it home, and in the 25th minute, Coach, we're tied 1-1.
Yeah, it felt very similar to the highlight that we watched right before that. This time the keeper I don't think he had a chance on this one, and so a lot of credit to Lex finding that seam in there and turning and firing the ball far post like that.
That is the first goal for Lima this season. Could prove to be a very big one as that tied things 1-1. Then you had a chance late for Lexington. Good one, too. Dangerous ball in, but, Coach, you were all over it. You had the AR's flag up, so this came at like the 22nd mark. Doesn't count.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean, the making a play, the 1-2 pass and around the corner like that, you'd like to see a little bit more awareness of, receiving the pass and understanding that if you put it right back, you're probably going to get the flag up. But, a lot of credit to them and creating the opportunity, and they finished. It was just we don't have VAR, so we're not going to check lines, but we're pretty confident that he was off.
Who needs VAR when we have your eyesight from the press box as a former coach? That's all we need.
My eyesight's a lot better seeing that than it is reading the program in front of me. So,
those were your halftime highlights. We are 5:11 away from second half action. We'll take another break and continue our halftime show here on News Channel Nebraska.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good To Go convenience store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good To Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good To Go post-game snacks.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Ready to upgrade your ride to the next level of performance and luxury? Visit Midway today and explore our stunning lineup of over 110 new Buicks and GMCs. Midway Chevrolet Buick GMC in Kearney.
Did you know that Teammates Mentoring is the largest school-based mentoring program in the nation? But we still need your help. Over 500 students are waiting for a mentor like you. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them to reach their full potential. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Welcome back to halftime. We are about 3 minutes away from the start of the second half, and we have a special guest in the booth, A.D. Ryan Hogue with Kearney High. Coach A.D., I should say. I'm talking to the coach during the game. Thanks for being here regardless. And there's some exciting times related to not only the community of Kearney, but also the high school specifically. So can you tell us a little bit about this new construction project we have coming down the pipe?
Absolutely. You know, we're just broke ground, and they're starting to the south of here, south of the pool, and to wrap around to the southwest. And we're gonna have about a 32,000 square foot addition, indoor addition. There's going to be about 70 by 28, 30 yards worth of indoor turf. We're also putting in a girls wrestling room and in a junior ROTC BB gun shooting range. When I say shooting range, it's BB guns, but that's also going to be like a multi-purpose space for our dance and for our cheer. The indoor turf area is going to be used by everybody. I mean, our PE, our outdoor pursuits, our band, our cheer, our dance, and obviously all of our athletic teams. It's just going to be a phenomenal addition to Kearney High School for our athletic programs, our activity programs, and really the entire school.
So you're talking about this addition with the school. You know, you have that coming. You have the Sportsplex that just had its grand opening today, and this is all a byproduct of everyone working together towards a common goal. So how is that relationship with the city, the Sportsplex, the school? How is it all connected for the betterment of Kearney?
We have a great relationship with the city of Kearney, and we share each other's facilities. Obviously, we have a lot of gyms, a lot of elementary, middle school, high school gyms that they utilize for their adult leagues and their volleyball programs and their youth. Obviously, all the youth programs with volleyball and basketball that we have here. We're a big part of giving those space for those practices. We go to softball at Patriot Park, which is city-owned. We played baseball today at Memorial. So obviously it's a share relationship. And then even the third party there is UNK. You know, Nebraska Kearney, they use our track, they use our swimming pool, we use their football field on varsity Friday nights. We use Cushing a lot as well. We have our graduation there. So when you look at the city of Kearney and you combine KPS, the UNK system, or Nebraska Kearney system, and as well as the city, it's just it's a phenomenal setup for all three of us in sharing facilities and doing what's best for kids.
Well, lastly, before I let you go, I know Coach Steinbrook was seemingly the brainchild behind this whole Central Nebraska thing, but there's a lot of people involved, and I know he was excited about it. You have these 4 communities. From what I understand, this is going to be in Lexington next year, Grand Island the following. Talk about how this all came together and what it's all about.
Tell you what, this is what when soccer coaches get together, they come up with these ideas. So, and this one was a really, really good one. And Joel and Scott Lexington and obviously Kearney brought this up, and I said, hey, let's go for it. Let's get 2 more teams, and I think this is going to be a great event. With the girls' side, I think there's a lot of interest in starting something there as well. So I think there's going to be something coming in the future months there. We just need to maybe find a couple more teams. But yeah, these guys dreamt this up, and it's been a home run. So we wish we'd have had a little bit better last night, but today's beautiful. We have a great game here. An old GNAC rivalry between Lex and Kearney has been rekindled a little bit. So looking forward to a great second half.
And one more thing, the cherry on top, is the game following this one as well on the girls' side, Kearney and Scott. Absolutely.
When we were trying to find another girls' game, and it ended up being an engagement between us and Scotts Bluff. The best part about all of this is, one of the top teams in Scott, in Class B in Scott, and now one of the top teams in Class A in girls in Kearney. It's going to be a phenomenal matchup. We're looking forward to a great game there, and obviously it's going to be a great viewing audience from NCN as well.
Ryan, appreciate you taking some time. Appreciate the accommodations here as we get to be treated to 2 great soccer games, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens not only this next 40 minutes, but to that girl game that we just talked about.
Absolutely. Let's go.
That's Athletic Director Ryan Hogue with Kearney High as we are back in action, second half of the Central Nebraska Championship. You may have seen on the screen the @NCN Sports. You're going to want to give us a follow at NCN Sports if you haven't. Nearly 13,000 others do, and if you follow that handle, not only do you have access to our broadcast schedule letting you know every week which games we'll be televising. We do highlights, we do rankings, we have our interviews from this game and other broadcasts that are tweeted there, and just sports stories in general, all filtered to that Twitter handle, and we've been known to give shout-outs live on the air to new followers. So again, at NCN Sports, feel free to give it a follow as we are officially, Coach, back in action now. Jensen is back on the headset. As we start this next 40, could you give us your sort of overarching summary / synopsis of what we saw in that first 40 and what you think the tweaks may be that the coaches have made at halftime that'll play out here?
Well, I think I would kind of break it up into the first 30 and the last 10 for both of the teams. Early on, I thought that it was essentially what we expected, and Lexington looking to control the ball, and Kearney looking to play. Well, we got ball in tight there, but the last 10 was something that I think both of the coaches probably are going to go to the locker room and talk to their teams about. There was definitely some things that both of the coaches liked, and definitely some things that both teams need to do better. And for Kearney, I'd like to see them have the ball a little bit more, and be patient and try to work the ball a little bit. They're going to be going into the wind, which is going to create some opportunity for the ball to get held up. I see that they've made one tactical change where they've moved Slaymaker into the center spot instead of playing out on the left side, and so I think they want to get him involved a little bit more. And for Lex, again, I mean, we're going with the wind this time, and those wingbacks getting high. I'm going to anticipate them getting a little bit more quick on the trigger and trying to test the goalkeeper from distance here, because I think it's pretty safe to say they're going to have the ball a little bit more than what Kearney is, but we'll see how this goes.
Well, glad that you're with us here on News Channel Nebraska. Final 40 minutes of this one coming your way, and don't go anywhere, because as we just talked about with Athletic Director Ryan Hogue, top 5 girls matchup to follow between Scott and Kearney. Bearcats trying to threaten here early on in the second half.
There you go. Just simple things like this. Just keeping the ball a little bit and gaining a little bit of confidence. Don't get in a big hurry and just kind of see how Lexington adjusts, and if pass when you can, not when you have to. That's what we always talk to the boys about, and I think that's what you're going to see a little bit more of. A lot of space out there.
This is Garcia. Strong challenge coming in by the Bearcats. Good tackle and a counter perhaps coming. Now at the feet of Schwartz. Cleared out by Diaz Arriaga. Dropped back. Ball at the feet of Harder. We have Petsa back to Harder. And one away for Lex by Garcia.
I think you're seeing it already. I mean, just the demeanor of the Kearney players, just a little bit more patience, a little bit, get your head up and just start connecting some passes and let the game flow happen here. I'm really impressed though with Lexington. I mean, they keep the throttle down. You see just the amount of stress that they put on you because of those wing backs and how high they are. You can see them kind of across the 20-yard line, incredibly wide, and it really creates opportunities for the teammates here. But this is where it's susceptible. It's right behind them here, and so I think that's where you're going to have to see Kearney really try to attack them. 21's got great vision. He sees the plays develop, and really been impressed with his play today.
That's the sophomore Don Lima for Lex. It's interesting too when you contrast these programs and talk about playing style. You'll hear coaches talk. You have the teams and communities where programs sort of have the athletes that specialize in a particular sport, as opposed to Kearney, where there's more multi-sport athletes playing. And as a coach, where you've gone against both and are probably more familiar from being at Grand Island, where with the players who have specialized more. What's that like when you see you playing on the pitch?
Well, I've always been a huge advocate of being in and involved in as many different sports as you possibly can. I think that we live in a society, especially if you live in more the metro areas, where those opportunities are a lot more abundant, and out here we typically, a lot of the athletes they're almost required to play other sports as well, and so it's in my mind a little bit different, just because from the standpoint, if you're playing club all year round, really changes a lot of how you play. But the big clubs that are at ECNL level type stuff, it's really difficult for the kids that live in the outstate area to participate in that. So you're really kind of stuck between a rock and a hard spot in a lot of ways. And so with Kearney, typically you've got athletes that are playing. Scott's had a lot of basketball players that have played over the years, football, wrestling, kind of all the way across the board here. Grand Island and Lex, we've typically had predominantly soccer players, and so they try to play as much as they can during the fall and the winter in the indoor leagues. So there's positives and negatives to both, but personally my preference is if kids can play more than one sport, I think that makes them a lot more rounded. Oh, here we go, opportunity.
Chance here for the Bearcats. Last-ditch tackle, a good one. That was Perez flying in there to deal with the danger as Kearney was threatening.
That's where the opportunity is going to come from, for sure.
And excuse me, I said Perez. It was actually Lima, that number 21. Coach, you've had your eye on all game, was the one with that tackle.
Yeah, he seems to be in the right spot, pretty much all the time. You see him, he's checking his shoulder and he's looking to see where the ball is going to be, try to play it into, and his job obviously is to disrupt that. And so far he's doing a good job, and I think that's the reason why I would really like to see Kearney try to put the ball into the middle, but to play the ball on kind of that second level run out wide.
Zamora battling. Kearney wins it. Gets it up to Petzel, or Petsit rather. He's the one with the assist to Slaymaker for their Bearcats goal in the 5th minute. And if you're just tuning in, it's 1-1 Central Nebraska Tournament Championship. Caden Slaymaker scored in the 5th minute for Kearney. Lexington equalized, courtesy of Adine Lima in the 25th minute. And thus far, 10 minutes into the second, we're still at a 1-1 match. How did these teams get here? This was the Central Nebraska Tournament, the first ever that's been held. You heard Athletic Director Ryan Hogue talking about it. Scott Steinbrook, head coach for Kearney, got together with Lexington head coach Joel Lemus with an idea. Then Grand Island and Schuyler get involved, and we have this 4-team tournament over 2 days. The semis were played yesterday. Kearney played Schuyler. Lexington played Grand Island. Lexington and Kearney clearly won in the 3rd place match that came prior to this game. Schuyler came out on top of Grand Island 3-2, so Schuyler finishes 3rd. And we'll see who comes out 1-2 in this one. It's currently deadlocked.
Well, I can promise you both of these teams want to win pretty bad. They want to be the one that's out there on the pitch after the game lifting up the trophy, and these schools are still close enough that it's still a rivalry, and you definitely want the inaugural event to be remembered as, hey, we won, and nothing could be better for Lexington than to win on Kearney's turf to do it as well. So don't think that doesn't come into play.
And here comes Lexington right on cue, threatening, cutting inside, a ball across. Shot blocked. Kearney Bearcat defense does enough. Bearcats coming up along the outside. Nutter. That's excellent defense by the Minutemen. Looks like that's Raimundo charging up the far side. Another ball in towards Zamora. And that'll go out of play. Goal kick.
No, we must add a deflection there. Yeah, they're playing
Excuse
corner
me.
on that, yeah.
Opportunity here for Lexington. Haven't had many corners. Here's another look. Meade Lumber instant replay. So you had Schwartz let it go out, believing it was off Lexington. Instead it was off the Bearcats. So you have Lima, who will send this in. Punched away by Schwartz.
Yeah, that's a tough ball. You got a left-footed player that's got an in-swinger with the wind blowing into the net for him. Yeah, good play by the goalkeeper. Got another one. I'm guessing we've got a right-footer coming. Going to in-swing this one as well.
And it appears to be exactly what Lexington has. Here it comes. Oh. False alarm. Now we have some extra activity in the box the referee wants to address before this kick's taken. Heading towards the back post off of the upright of the field goal.
A little bit of an aggressive angle there.
Coach, where do you stand on, you know, the gamesmanship or positioning or what should and shouldn't be allowed based on contact and, you know, win positioning, 4 corner kicks in the box like that?
Well, my daughter's a goalkeeper, so if she's in the net, I don't want anybody touching her. But
That's fair.
Other than that, I think everything should be fair play. You know, the thing that I want everybody to understand is that soccer is definitely a contact sport, and so I think that a lot of that is just part of the game.
I like that. Physical, play it, unless it's the daughter, which is totally fair. As someone who has a daughter himself, I can relate to that entirely.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
And you never know nerves until your daughter is a goalkeeper.
Here comes Lexington. Kearney does a good job there. This will go harmlessly to Schwartz. I'd like to remind you, this second half, it's brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. Husker Rehab. 15 minutes almost in, 14 officially into the second half, still 1-1. Lexington throw. I'd like to thank our presenting sponsors for today's coverage. This game is brought to you thanks to Currency, which makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. This game is also presented by Teammates Mentoring. Join the team via Mentor. Go to teammates.org today. And also Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Ball kept in play by Clausen for Kearney. Now stolen. Pass intercepted by Schwartz. Trying to find Slaymaker.
You know, Brandon, we're at that time in the year, too, where you start, it's not a hot day, but you start thinking about fitness and you know, the depth of your squad. And you know, these guys have been playing a lot of games in short periods of time. And you referenced earlier, Lex, a lot of games in overtime. So you just wonder, I mean, from the, you know, their legs and that type of stuff, if they start to get heavy here, playing games yesterday and coming back and playing today and battling the wind and the elements, and so, you know, just trying to get through it here. But I thought of that just, I mean, it seems to me like Lexington has kind of been okay with yielding possession a lot more this half than they were last half, just kind of sitting back and almost looking to counterattack, and that traditionally hasn't been how they've played, and so we'll see if anything changes here.
Yeah, to what you referenced, opened the season at Columbus. That was a 3-2 overtime victory. Actually, their first 3 games of the season, just 3 in a row, overtime, overtime, overtime. 1-0 overtime over Pius after that Columbus, then 2-1 overtime victory over Scott. And then they gave themselves a slight reprieve. 1 in regulation over York, lost in regulation over Hastings, and then they had their 4th overtime, 3-1 victory over South Sioux City back on the 29th as this one heads in, and you had a player on the back post, but it does go out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, those are really tough. I mean, when you've got the wind howling like it is and blowing into the net that you're defending, and you start ripping those in-swingers in, just the slightest touch from anybody, you know, or even just the possibility of the ball going directly to the net through all the traffic, you know, that's definitely something that's going to make the coaches a little bit nervous here because, I mean, traditionally Kearney's terrific at defending the set pieces. It's just that additional element of the wind is really going to change things with the ability to really whip the ball in to those dangerous spots for them.
Lex with the quick throw here, or with the throw, I should say, not so quickly. Zamora passes it off. Now brought down by Garcia. So in your estimation, you've sort of been analyzing what we've seen in this second half, but the last 15 minutes or so of the first half, things that got dysregulated or a little bit, you know, not as clinical from either side. The game sort of got broken up. How would you address what we've seen in the roughly opening 16 minutes, 17 minutes of this second half?
Well, just from my viewpoint, I feel like Lex is getting a little bit tired. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but you know, just kind of watching the way that they're playing, you don't see the second level runs coming from the wing backs as much, but also you've got them. That's a tough ball.
Wow.
Yeah, really nice save.
Schwartz got a piece of that one.
But they've, you know, I mean, Kearney just remains, you know, they sit back there, they're very organized, and so, you know, I would expect to see Lex do that a lot more. You know, ripping the ball from 20, 25 yards out with that wind and just with the skill level that a lot of these guys have. You know, the other thing that's, you know, really becoming clear is that Kearney's kind of plan here is to look at for the counterattack. They've got Slaymaker just kind of staying up top and hoping to be the outlet and make a great play. But there's another one of those in-swingers in. That's just going to be, it's going to be tough to sit here for the next 20-plus minutes for Kearney to defend those, because at some point in time, you know, you're probably going to get a ball that bounces the wrong way. And I just don't see right now that Kearney's got much going forward.
Some consistent pressure being applied here by Lexington as they drop it back to reset. Another ball trying to switch the field there. There's perhaps that bad bounce. Valente. And there's a rip right at Schwartz, but again, it's sort of that pressure breaks pipes mentality, as you were talking about, Coach. The more you put in balls and the more shots you put in, eventually one finds the back of the net.
Well, typically, you know, you think about your back line being the most important part of the defense, but I think for the next 20 minutes, the most important part of the defense for Kearney is going to be the holding midfield play, because, you know, that 10 yards or so in front of the center backs is going to be where Lexington seems to be picking up the ball in space and firing away from 30 in the conditions today is absolutely something that I'd be telling my boys to keep doing. So don't try to break them down. We don't have to score from inside the 6. I mean, fire the ball into the roof of the net from 25 out. And so, you know, I'm sure Coach Steinberg's looking at it saying, okay, we got to really solidify that holding midfield play. Otherwise, we're bound to give up something. You know, here's another ball. I mean, that's
just wide.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, that space in front of that back line, and you know, when you coach center backs and you coach, you know, that back line, at some point in time they're going to get frustrated too, because they want those guys covered up, and they can't step to everything. And so really getting fresh legs on for Coach Steinbrook and sitting in those holding midfield spots, I think is going to be really critical for this the remaining 19 minutes of the game.
And Lexington coming right back after that goal kick. Reestablishing possession.
And that's actually probably the ball that I would be content with giving them is on the outside, because you got big, strong center backs that can deal with balls that are served in, get condensed and cover that space in front of the center backs and force Lexington to go out and around you and back through, as opposed to giving them those open shots from distance.
And again, to what you pointed out, Kearney right now is just sending that searching ball up there, hoping that one will land at Slaymaker's feet that he can do something with. Space for Lexington again. Coming along the outside. Chance for a shot at the 18. Good job by Kearney to close it down. Slaymaker coming back in support.
I know it's tough because you can't cover everything, but getting Slaymaker a little bit of help on that outlet, because even if you're just looking to play the searching ball, play it long, he's going to go 1v3. If you can play the ball to his feet and get kind of that second level run with somebody that's got the pace, you could open up Lexington and get that 1v1 from distance here.
Well, this broadcast is brought to you thanks to Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com. 17 minutes remaining in regulation of the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship here between Kearney and Lex. Both goals coming in the first half. Only took 5 minutes for Kearney. Caden Slaymaker notches his 9th goal of the season off the assist from Andrew Petzet. And then you had the equalizer by Adine Lima Miranda in the 25th minute. And again, since that point, to round out the half and into this half, it's been Lexington who has had more opportunities and has been spending the majority of the time in their attacking third as opposed to Kearney. Is that off a Bearcat?
It was,
Potential own goal situation, but it goes wide. Shores has been fairly busy here this second half. And here comes another corner kick.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to see all the Lex players inside the 6. Let's just crowd the box here, and just try to fire this thing, right at the goalkeeper's mitts and see what happens.
That one off the head of Krotzel. Nice work there to defend. And Kearney trying to get some breathing room.
Yeah, we don't want to concede possession like that when we're breaking out, though. Because when you do, then here they come right back at you again, and you're kind of stretched now. You can see a little bit of gaps in that midfield now, and I don't think you can stress enough the difference that it makes by Kearney not having Garner. Just his ability to play in that midfield spot. He's just a workhorse. He's the engine and incredibly talented, fast, everything. And so really having him to be able to hit Lex on the counter, I think, is something that they sorely miss.
To that point, Garner, 3 goals, 3 assists. Coach Steinbrook hoping he'll be back in a couple of weeks. But if you could take that a step further related to how that impacts a starting 11, as Scott was telling me, we basically moved everyone up a level to replace him. We put a defender at midfield, a midfielder in the attack, and you're playing this chess piece, puzzle piece type of scenario. But it has a ripple-on effect when you have to replace a guy like that. As Kearney,
oh, there it is.
Great chance. That was a Slaymaker ball sent in.
Wonderful play there by Slaymaker, getting around the corner. And kind of what we talked about before is having that second level run coming up to help him, and so he's not so isolated. And you know, really good job by Kearney that time by getting the pressure on. And you know, to your point about you know, how that changes things for you, it definitely changes. But you know, you can look at it from a positive standpoint too, because if you learn to play without your top player in there like that, then when you do get him back, you know, it should make things a little bit better for everybody across the board. And so, you know, we're about a month away from state tournament. I know that Kearney's got hopes about playing at Morrison, and so, you know, this is the time where you start making those preparations. You've played 3 weeks, and so you kind of know what your team is, and you start adapting and changing a little bit based upon how you think that you'd play, you know, on the big stage.
Navarrete holds it up for Lex as they get bodies forward. Now Zamora. Nearing 10 minutes to play in regulation. 13 and change to go. That by far the best opportunity created by Slaymaker that Kearney's had in a while. Carter Killian coming in for the Bearcats. Also a couple of subs for Lexington. No Perez and Juan Raimundo back in. To your point about the heavy legs, particularly for Lexington, you start seeing these substitutions come in.
Yeah, and I think we've got some fresh legs here at these wingback spots. I know I've kind of beaten it to death over the broadcast, but it's a different style of play when you play with 3 in the back, you know, compared to what most high school teams are used to playing, and you know, it creates a lot of opportunity for you if you're in possession, but it also creates a lot of gaps for you defensively if you're not working to get back, and so, you know, we've seen a little bit of both of that, and so I wouldn't be surprised though with Lexington going for the win if you start seeing those wingbacks getting high again.
Well, be sure to stay tuned for our post-game show. It's brought to you by KRT, that helps you get back in the action. Learn more at krtrelief.com. Brandon Axemet and Jeremy Jensen with you for this one. Central Nebraska Tournament Championship between Kearney and Lexington. And again, we will continue to promote the fact that we have a top 5 matchup, girls soccer, coming up after this one between Scott and Kearney as well. Hope you're enjoying a Saturday afternoon of soccer here on NCN.
That was a nice combination, the link-up play there. Just missed on the pass, but that was good. I mean, Kearney strung together 5-6 passes there and created something.
So you've had a couple of decent opportunities now for the Bearcats in the past couple of minutes. Here's potentially a chance for another. Slaymaker running on, and Arriaga coming out to get to the ball first.
Yeah, that's tough. Good play by the goalkeeper there. That ball gets held up in the wind like that, and you got a fast, athletic kid like Slaymaker running onto you. Good job.
Nearly a 50-50, but Arriaga again, who has come in after volley went down in the same sequence where Slaymaker scored the goal in the 5th minute. Thus far, he's kept a clean sheet.
I think from the leg standpoint, need to see a little bit more out of somebody in the 10 role. I mean, that you know, they were doing it there where it seemed like they were peppering the space in front of those center backs for Kearney, but you know, since then midfield play has kind of gotten a little bit lax again, and so we're kind of running into that scenario where getting a little bit sloppy. You got 10 minutes to go in a game where it's tied. You know, that midfield really needs to come through and keep the link between the back line and those attacking players, dictate pace of play, and also be the communicators.
This one booted forward towards Navarrete.
Ref's letting them play a little bit. They were getting a little handsy down there, and ref said, it's all right, just keep playing.
And if I translate what you talked about related to play in the box on corner kicks to on the field, that's something you're a proponent of? I would guess. Let him play.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. See if Lex can get a big throw in.
Yeah, for me, I've always been of the mindset that unless it's egregious, you don't award a penalty. I mean, those, especially in tight games, I mean, you don't want to see the outcome of the game be decided by something that was maybe or maybe not embellished, and contacts. Just because you make contact doesn't mean that's a foul either. And so, there's another tough spot though for Kearney. I don't want to see the ball floated like that. I'd like to see him drive that thing across the face of the goal.
This will go all the way back to the keeper. 8:20 and change remaining. Will there be that goal before the end of regulation? If not, we'll head to 2 10-minute overtime periods. Stay tuned for our top plays that are brought to you by Currency and Southeast Community College. Discover more at southeast.edu. Look out, Lexington. Sends it back across the 6. Minutemen threatening.
Yet another corner. There we go. Yeah, I just think the balls that are driven and ball swerving a little bit as it's coming into that dangerous area just makes it tough on everybody here. And in-swinger with the wind helping you. Really tough spot for the defense to be here.
There's another floater towards the back post. And goes wide.
Well, it almost worked out, but usually when you got center backs that are sitting in there at 6'4", you don't want to see a ball floated in there, and so it almost fell to somebody's feet and got a clean one off. But here we go again. I'm also not a big fan of laying the flags down and getting them out of your way. I mean, come on, ref.
There, he put it back.
There, he did. Good for him. Yeah. Good for him. That's a tough ball in. Really good. That was nice.
Goal kick after it's all said and done. 6.5 to go here in the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship.
I think you see the coaches here for Lex also talking about that, about driving balls as opposed to floating it, just because so many more things happen when that ball's coming across that dangerous area, just whipped in, and you got a little bit of an injury here.
Looks like that's Jose Navarrete being helped off, or looks like must have some blood on his arm or hand, which you have to address.
Well, that means we're getting a little physical in the box there, so he's going to let him play. And this referee here, he's been around a long time and he does a good job, and so he's definitely the type of official that's going to let the game happen a little bit, let the guys play. So as a coach, you understand that. You talk to your teams and your players about who the officiating crew is and kind of what the history has been, and try to adjust your playing style to who's in the middle, especially. And so, with this gentleman that's out there, he'll do a good job and let him get after it a little bit.
To your point, we haven't seen any cards this game as well. Been clean on both sides. Under 6 now to go. Kearney looking for space and switching the fields. Well done and dealt with by Victor Yam Aguilar.
Good play by him, being that left-sided center back, and as soon as Kearney starts looking to switch the ball, that's where the space is going to be. So if Kearney can find somebody, get the runner behind the wing back and in that space, but dealt with very good there. Got a handball.
Yep, all over it. Handball against the Bearcats. into the box, and well done. Looks like that was Kyler Eklund, the DM, tracked back to deal with the threat.
This is kind of that point in the game where it starts to look a little bit like 3-on-3 old man basketball at the Y. You got that, it's stretched and a lot of space that's opening up. So I know as a coach, you're really trying to think about how to keep everything tight. And so now you see it, Lexington win a corner here, another dangerous spot. So Coach Steinberg doesn't want to see these balls continue to get served in right in front of his net.
Lima will take this one. You can see the wind continuing to impact the ability to take it. There's a low one swung in, bouncing around. Have a whistle.
Got a little grabby coming out. Wanted to stop the counterattack, I think, there.
Under 4 to play here in regulation. You're going to want to be sure to stay tuned for our Player of the Game interview. It's brought to you by Nebraska Orthopedic Center, where they are your healing destination. We'll be talking to the winning head coach and our Player of the Game from the winning team, and it could be anyone at this point. 1-1, 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship between Lexington and Kearney. Brandon Axmett, Jeremy Jensen with you. An opportunity here for Lexington. They keep it in play.
Yeah, if they've got runners, they've got center backs pulled out, but it took a little bit too long to get the ball.
They win it back. That's easy for Schwartz to deal with.
It's going to be tough. Ball's holding up. Yep.
Slaymaker was trying to track it down, cleared out.
Was dealt with really well there. That's a tough ball. Getting played in over the top, spinning with the wind holding it up. Good job at the center back.
That was Adine Cruz Lima. He had one of the 3 goals against Grand Island yesterday. Under 2 to go.
Tough spot here in the game. Just still want to try to win the game, but definitely no mistakes at this point. So with Kearney, I don't know if they can mount much of an attack here, or they sit back and just get to OT. Really surprised Lexington hasn't seen more of the ball in those spaces where they can create those shots from 25-30 out like we talked about. Might have got away with one there.
I was gonna say Lexington wanted a foul. Referee says no. 1 minute to go.
1 minute. 1 minute remaining in regulation.
No dumb fouls. Don't want to have to defend a free kick that isn't necessary. And so Lexington almost had themselves one there that could have been tough to deal with at the end.
Yeah, Clausen check in for Kearney here. Final 30 seconds. Will there be one more opportunity? Kearney with a nutter. He had a chance. It's cleared out, and we will officially have bonus soccer here in the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship. After 80 minutes of play, we're deadlocked at 1 apiece. That means 2 10-minute overtime periods are coming up to see if we can decide this one. Don't go anywhere. Overtime soccer coming your way on NCN shortly.
Body in motion stays in motion until you feel that muscle tighten, that sharp pain you didn't expect, and suddenly you're stopped in your tracks. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Don't get sidelined by muscle cramps. Stay in the game with KRT.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Looking for a car that isn't new but is new to you? Midway's got it. Over 150 pre-owned cars, trucks, and sport utilities now at Midway in Kearney. And each comes with a 30-day exchange privilege. Midway Auto Dealerships in Kearney, Nebraska, or thinkmidway.com.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Did you know that Teammates Mentoring is the largest school-based mentoring program in the nation? But we still need your help. Over 500 students are waiting for a mentor like you. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them to reach their full potential. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good to Go convenience store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good to Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good to Go post-game snacks.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology. From screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
When your plumbing needs attention, trust the experts at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating.
And welcome back. Just getting started here. Overtime period number 1 of the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship. 1-1 is your score between Kearney and Lexington. Brandon Axmit and Jeremy Jensen with you. Kearney scored in the 5th minute. Caden Slaymaker with the goal to start things, and then you had the equalizer by Adine Lima in the 25th. We have been scoreless since. And coach, as a coach, how do you approach overtime? As you know, most people probably are aware, this isn't a golden goal situation. You have 10-minute periods, 2 of them, and then whoever has the most goals by then is the winner. And if you don't, you go to the PKs, the shootout.
Yeah, it's really quite different. I mean, you think about it, you're going out that first 10-minute session, and really the idea is put as much pressure on as you can, but don't make any mistakes, right? And so when you're telling that to 17-year-old kids, it's a little bit of a challenge for them to kind of register sometimes. But I mean, both these teams are going to play to win. I don't think anybody's sitting back and going to be content with penalties, and so from that, I think you just go for it. But one of the things that we've talked about too is fatigue starts setting in, and when your legs get tired, your mind can kind of get you in trouble because you can't. Your mind tells you to do something your legs aren't willing to do for you anymore, and so there's a lot that goes into it, no question about it. I'd love to see the rule change to go to golden goal. I just the idea of having to play out the additional 20 is to me, I'd just rather see the golden goal part of it and the excitement behind it as well.
Well, what's the process? I think you submit something to the NSAA, then they have a board, and then they vote on it, and then you could be the genesis for that change.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to hold my breath. For 15 years, I submitted a lot of things, and nothing ever got changed.
That's the argument that you bring up, though. There's a lot of merit to it. I mean, yeah, you have that excitement clearly if you find that goal and that winner, and there's less of the strategy or lack of strategy or whatever you want to call it on, okay, how do we deal with the first 10? Do we just sort of absorb and not really go all out until the final 10? And then is that exciting, engaging soccer? All of that stuff plays into it.
100%. I mean, usually what you see is if a team scores early on in the first 10, I mean, they just sit back and absorb as much pressure, as possible over the remaining, however, 8 minutes or 18 minutes that are left. And, it's a little bit anticlimactic, but I'd just like to see, hey, if somebody puts the ball in the net, let's celebrate and let's get on the bus and go home.
Well, you saw Slaymaker there send a kick in. It wasn't overly threatening, but Arriaga was there to deal with it. Again, we're seeing the girls' teams now making their way to the field for the game to come up next. Scott and Kearney. We'll be here for it and looking forward to it.
I've been a little bit surprised. We've got really blustery conditions, and it doesn't seem like the wind has really impacted either team in terms of how they decided to play and kind of how the play has actually gone. You've seen Lexington hitting a few more shots from distance. That at the beginning, oh, here we go, we're in.
Near failed clearance, Slaymaker providing more pressure, but Arriaga there once more, and he quickly gets it out and up to Thurell.
But the wind also, I mean, is really a determining factor on if you win the toss going into overtime. I mean, what do you want to do? Because especially if your kids are getting heavy legs, and do you want the wind at your back the second 10? Because if you do get that goal, then you can sit back and the clearances are a lot easier when you've got a 30-mile-per-hour wind at your back as opposed to when it's in your face and just relieving pressure. And so, with Kearney having the wind here to begin, I would really expect them to be on the front foot and go for a winner here.
There'll be an opportunity, another dangerous ball to be thrown into the box for the Bearcats. Deflecting off players, Lexington gets it out. Here may come a shot. Deflected off another Bearcat.
Now it's important for Kearney to keep possession here. Keep them pinned in. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Really difficult creating something. Try to hit something from 25, 30 out with that wind and see what happens.
Already halfway through the first overtime period. And Maravilla check in for Lexington here on the left wing. Back up to Slaymaker. He turns. Excellent recovery by Lima, who is Lexington's goal scorer here this afternoon. Now Lima will look to take on a Kearney defender, or Maravilla, excuse me, still with it at his feet. And it'll be a Lexington free kick. And they take it quickly, back to Maravilla.
And didn't have any numbers forward there. If you're going to do that, you want to make sure that you're putting the ball into play. It's somebody that's going at goal.
Well, here comes Slaymaker. Well done defensively by Yam. Under 3 to go.
Kearney bringing the big bodies forward here, and so we've seen the throw-ins, but we haven't seen a whole lot of corner kicks here. So it'll be interesting to see how they design this up.
A substitution coming in before the kick. It's going Carter Killian entering.
So we've got a right-footed ball coming in, so we're going to outswing it, but the wind probably will straighten that thing out. And so I'd expect a lot of blue shirts getting high in the air here trying to win this.
Off the head of a Bearcat. As you indicated, just a little bit wide. Couldn't get enough angle to put it back toward goal. That was right there dangerously at the back post.
If they can get the ball out here, we got a lot of space.
To Nutter. Slaymaker calling for it. Good tackle there by Maravilla.
Center back from Kearney's getting a lot of fitness work, jogging up to take long throws. There's no question about that.
That is Krotzel, who will be kicking at Iowa Western next year. So he kicker for the Kearney football team, but as also getting a workout with his arms and these long throws as that one goes right into the box. Up to Navarrete.
1 minute remaining in the first overtime period.
And it'll be a Kearney throw.
Lex seems pretty content with defending right now and pretty much the entirety of this 10-minute stretch here. So probably a tactical decision by coach to, with that win, sit back and see what happens here. And then I would assume in this second 10-minute period, a little bit more urgency in trying to go for it, because nobody wants to sit and leave the result up to the uncertainty of penalty. So.
Well, final 10 seconds, a deep ball towards goal goes wide, and that'll do it for the first 10-minute overtime period. 1-1 still your score here at Kearney. We'll be back with the second 10 minutes of overtime here at the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship on NCN.
Landmark Implement is your local authorized John Deere dealer. Landmark's trained and certified sales staff will help you find the right equipment for your needs, all backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network. Whether it's a tractor, planter, combine, lawn and garden tractor, or gator, every piece of equipment in our inventory is ready to work hard for your operation. Landmark's team works together to make sure everything that is sold meets their quality standards. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or learn more at landmarkimp.com to experience the Landmark difference.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
Welcome back. Second overtime period coming your way in 30 seconds here on NCN. So, Braden Axman, Jeremy Jensen, Coach, what did you see in that first 10?
Well, I mean, I think that from the Lex standpoint, it just felt like they were content by wanting to get through the first 10 and kind of see where we go from there. I thought Kearney played actually pretty well. You saw, some things where they were looking to get forward in the creativity. But I really expect Lex to come out and put a little bit more pressure on this last 10 minutes. This is one of those spots in the game where you tell your kids, listen, hey, we're tired, they're tired, everybody's tired. You're going to be tired when you get on the bus. You might as well be tired and win. And so, gut it out and give me everything that you've got, and don't sit back and wait for one of your teammates to do it. Go make the play. And it's also one of those games where you hope somebody makes a great play and not, the game's not decided by a mistake either. And so, as a coach, you often sit there and you just kind of think to yourself, hey, we can handle getting beat, but I just don't want to see us lose the game and put that pressure on one of my boys for doing something because they had tired, heavy legs. So you hope that we see somebody that has a little bit of a moment of magic and one of these guys finds a winner somewhere.
We'll see what these final 10 minutes have in store. Glad that you're with us. Top 10 girls soccer matchup coming up next between Scott and Kearney, and we're going to see some drama here regardless whether it's a goal in the final 10 minutes of the second overtime period or if it goes to PKs. We're going to find a winner here at the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship, the first inaugural competition, as here comes Lexington.
Good job there of stepping forward and not giving any space, because you could see he was lining up to let it rip, and want to make sure that you protect your goalkeeper as much as you can from having to defend the laser beams that are coming in from 30 yards out there, and especially with the wind and getting the swerve on the ball. Lots of bad things can happen when you let somebody that's got the quality to fire away at you.
Pass intercepted initially by No Perez. Dropped back to Milara. Our coverage here on NCN is presented by Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Also, special thanks to Currency, presenting sponsor of our high school sports on News Channel Nebraska. Does your business need help financing big ticket items? Currency is here to help. Find out more at gocurrency.com. Now ball at the feet of Harder. Navarrete. He goes wide to Zamora. Lexington stringing something together here, and that one too far out in front of Leyva.
Yeah, the wind's going to carry those balls, and so it's going to be tough. You know, we always talk to our players about one of two things has to be at an angle, either the run or the pass, and each time you get both of them going straight, it's just really, really difficult to connect the passes.
Was Yam with the tackle for Lexington. Minutemen trying to now bring another attack coming up the field towards Navarrete, who got to it. Just couldn't get around on it.
Tough ball for the goalkeeper there, trying to decide if you're going to come for it and leave your net completely unattended, or you just hoping and praying that your center back gets a touch on it, or it's a little bit long. And Kearney a little fortunate there.
Zamora towards the middle. Opportunity here for Garcia, who sends a shot in, and Swartz is there.
Definitely want to take that away. Kearney's done a good job, really, over the last 30 minutes or so. You've got, you know, with Lex playing the formation there, they've got the two forwards, but they've got two kind of center attacking mids also with one single six. And so I think that might be the reason why Coach Steinberg has those two very dedicated holding midfielders, and they're just trying to match up. You can kind of look that Lex's their attack is essentially in a box right there. You got two forwards and two midfielders underneath them, and so you know, so long as those Kearney holding mids do a good job right there, taking away that entry pass to them, I think they'll be okay. And for me, Lex needs to get the ball to those wing backs again on those second level runs, and they'll create opportunities.
Had an opportunity to counter that one, just too far in front for Killian. Almost halfway through this second overtime period, still 1-1. Good switch by Lexington. Some space to work with going to Navarrete. We'll call that a half bicycle kick attempt. What do you think?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a bicycle, hey, maybe foul me, a little bit of everything going on there. The referee looked right at him and said, get up, I'm not giving you that. And so, but he was fortunate, though. He won a corner kick, and that could be as good as anything right now at this point in time.
A couple of substitutions, Clausen in for Kearney. You have Lima and Hernandez coming in for Lexington. Getting a look there at Lima, the sophomore, number 21. Been a mainstay at that DM spot throughout the day for Lexington as this low ball comes in.
That's a tough ball. That's really well done. Would like to see the Kearney defender on near post, not let that ball get to the goalkeeper, and definitely want to see more white shirts in there if you're Lexington, but that was a well-struck ball, creating a lot of dangerous opportunity.
Ball won back by Hernandez.
Yeah, don't want to see that. Don't give away possession with 3 minutes to go in the game like that.
Knotted up at 1-1. This has been the score since the 25th minute when Adine Lima equalized for Lexington. We're getting closer and closer to what would result in PKs if the score stays the same. Opportunity for Lex. Dangerous ball in, cleared out by the Bearcat back line.
It's a good job at marking the run there by the left back. To me, the game has really flipped, just given the standpoint that Lex's wingbacks aren't as high and attack-minded as they were. And then conversely, too, you got Coach Steinberg with the two holding midfielders. And you can tell, I mean, it's a concerted effort by those two guys that basically sitting in there and making sure they disrupt. And so if Lex isn't getting wide with the overlapping runs from the wing backs and you've got two holding midfielders from Kearney that are plugging up the space, it's really resulted in not many attempts of anything for Lex going forward.
Under 2 to go. Strong challenge. Shot from distance, deflects off Kronzel's torso. 90 seconds to play.
This is one of those times in the game where it seems like Kearney's always had I think the Austin brothers that seemed to play for the last 15 years that would always sneak behind your back line with a minute to go and net one, right at the end. And so we'll see if Slay make a little magic here and dust off the ghosts of some of the Bearcats of past.
1 minute.
All right, at that minute mark.
There we go. We got a chance to break. Yeah.
Chance for Nutter to run on. Unable to do so.
That was a good searching ball in there. Like to see that on the ground rolling through at an angle. Let's see if somebody can get on the end of it.
I was looking for Hernandez. Just wasn't quite able to get there in the end.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, you played 100, you might as well go to PKs. 1-1 is your score after 2 overtime periods, and it's going to take a shootout to determine who will be the first Central Nebraska Tournament champion. Don't go anywhere. The shootout returns here on NCN.
This podcast is brought to you by Currency.
At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
Spring is here. For farmers, making safety a priority this planting season can be the difference between life and death. Always look out for power lines before exiting the cab, when loading and transporting machinery, and when raising or unfolding equipment. Keep equipment at least 20 feet from power lines and use a spotter when possible. Be aware of what's overhead. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
Darling, I believe everything's gonna be alright. No need to worry because you got somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at, we got your back. We got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. The wedding bands will be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
All right, welcome back. Shootout to decide the first ever Central Nebraska Tournament Championship. Coach, some love him, some hate him. Your opinion. Give us your shootout thesis.
I love him and I hate him. And that, funny to say, but I mean, we definitely, if given the opportunity, I want my team shooting first. I want to put the pressure on the other team. I make the assumption that my guys are going to put the ball in the net, have a really strict conversation with the goalkeeper, and basically tell them all you got to do is get one. So if you don't get the first four, I don't care, just get the fifth one. And if you get one of them, then we deserve to win. There's no pressure on you as a goalkeeper whatsoever. And just step forward, put your foot through it.
Well, here's the first attempt, Slaymaker. And keeper guessed it the right way.
Very fortunate there.
Man, all right. And again, this is the backup keeper, Arriaga. In for Valle, who was hurt in the 5th minute.
I took a little bit of a different approach, too. Generally speaking, our guys knew who the 5 would be that were going, but I would ask them, and if I got any sense that there was a little bit of lack of confidence, I wouldn't hesitate to make a change. But I would also tell the 5 guys that were going out, I don't care who goes first. You guys figure out the order. You guys figure out I don't care. All 5 you're going to make. And I would sit over on the bench. I wouldn't stand out there with the rest of the team, and I would just sit there and try to take it all in. And at that point in time, you've done everything you can. You just want your goalkeeper to step up and make one save, and the rest of the boys do what they do in practice.
This is Zamora. He finds the back of the net. 1-1. As a keeper, is there anything you tell them strategy-wise other than, just make one? Is it as random as, you're picking away and you're hoping you guess right, or is there more to it than that?
Yeah, I think that certain goalkeepers have different feel, and so I don't think there's really any strict way of giving them the instruction. I mean, some goalkeepers want to react, some of them want to guess. It's all about confidence. I'll tell you, we had a goalkeeper by the name of Justin Oregon that was just so insanely good at it, and the last thing I wanted to do was ever get in his head, and just terrific stuff.
Harder, upper 90.
I'd also coach the kickers, though, to go up there with a plan in mind, but you should be talented enough to change your mind at the point of impact. And I always told the guys, give a little bit of a peek. And so if you're going for the bottom right and just line up that way to strike the ball through, but right before impact, if you look up and the goalkeeper's already diving that way, it shouldn't be that difficult to turn your instep just a little bit and roll it into the left side of things. So it's really just about, can you handle the pressure or not.
This is going to be Lima, the goal scorer for Lexington in open play. And we have a save. Hayden Schwartz, full extension, picks correctly. Here's another look.
Yeah, it's at that perfect height for the goalkeeper to make the save, too. So you're trying to tell the guys, in my mind, you want the ball on as low as you possibly can to one of the corners. It's just harder for the goalkeepers to get clear over and down at the same time. And so if you're not going low, trying to put the ball into the upper part of the net, obviously then you bring into play the crossbar and leaning back a little bit too much and lifting it over. But I definitely don't want to see somebody go up and just strike with a ball that goes about waist high. It's got to get either above that or below that to make things difficult on the keeper.
Now Nutter to give the Bearcats the advantage now with the third kick. And it's off the feet of Arriaga, who responds instantly. So now you have the whole momentum factor. How do you say who came out on top of the momentum after those 2 kicks?
Well, if you're the next one up, there's definitely a lot of pressure again. So you don't want to be the one that misses the second in a row. And, you get to these, this is a trophy game, so it definitely means something. But you also want to, get to the point where you're thinking about sitting at Morrison, where you've got, 7,000 people that are watching you as well, and the fate of your community on your shoulders. Getting these kids, a lot of pressure for these young kids, and some of them thrive in it and some of them don't. And he can be a terrific player, but a terrible penalty taker also.
Side netting. Munoz has us level after 3 kicks. There's been 2 makes and 2 misses, 1 for each team. Right before that Nutter kick, I was actually going to ask your opinion on going down the middle, and if you had one related to that.
I hate it. I hate it. It's like, you know what? You're trying to outthink the goalkeeper then. If you can't hit your spot from 12 yards away, I probably shouldn't have you taking a penalty to begin with. That's maybe that's a little bit too harsh, but that's the coach in me.
Well, Schwartz, he didn't go down the middle. Bottom left.
And I told my boys all the time, as soon as one of you tries to chip the goalkeeper with that cute little move, you won't ever take another one for me again.
You're not for the slow motion stutter step, walk up to the ball and kick, that's not your cup of tea?
I'm not, and too many times they want to be cute, and it's 12 yards away, and you got a big old space there that's 24 by 8. You should be able to hit your target.
Bottom left as well for Eden Cruz.
That's a tough one. That's kind of what we talked about. Just that low heat like that. The goalkeeper read it the right way, but it's tough to get down on those.
Number 11, Tyler Eckler.
All right, so this is kick number 5. Kyler Eklund stepping up for the Bearcats.
That's well done. No goalkeepers getting that one.
So now you have all the pressure here on Lexington, specifically the shoulders of Maravilla. He needs to make this to keep things going. If not, Kearney will be your champion.
Certainly taking his time.
Calm, cool, and collected. At least that's what he's showing.
Number 10, Mario Maravilla.
So this is to keep Lexington alive. Maravilla. He's blocked! Schwartz with the block. Kearney rushes to him. The Bearcats win the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship in shootout fashion. Hayden Schwartz with 2 saves in the shootout.
Great save there. Really good save. It looked like it was a well-taken penalty, too. Just a little bit better on the save.
Drama here to end the championship. The Bearcats come out on top. Don't go anywhere. We'll get one more look at this one. 2-1. There is the cup that will be hoisted by the Bearcats. What a way to end things. Here's the save. Again, it was waist level, and Schwartz able to do the rest. What a game, Coach.
Really good game. Quite the way to kick off this event, and no pun intended there. I mean, it was, really, the competition level was terrific. These boys are excited about it. You can see the celebration there. It definitely means something to them. And so it's great to be a part of it.
And there it is, the cup hoisted by the Bearcats. The first of what all coaches and teams involved expect to be a long-standing tradition. But the first will always belong to the Bearcats. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll hear from Scott Steinbrook and our Nebraska Orthopedic Center player of the game when we return.
Happy birthday to you. It's actually Earth Day. Who does an Earth Day ad?
We do.
Experience a quiet, energy-saving clean with a new KitchenAid dishwasher from Schaefer's. Now with free installation after rebate. Plus, save up to $3,000 with rebates on energy-saving KitchenAid appliance packages. They're easy on the planet and your wallet.
Happy Earth Day to you.
Need relief from pain or support for recovery? Don't just see anyone, see the trainer. From bracing to home health and rehab products, they provide the right solutions to keep you moving. Whether it's a chronic condition or sudden injury, their expert team will help you find the perfect fit. With a wide range of in-stock orthopedic, sports medicine, or rehabilitation products, See the Trainer is dedicated to improving your quality of life. Visit the professionals at See the Trainer in Columbus, Lincoln, Omaha, Bellevue, and North Platte.
A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that muscle tighten, that sharp pain you didn't expect, and suddenly you're stopped in your tracks. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Don't get sidelined by muscle cramps. Stay in the game with KRT.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Ready to upgrade your ride to the next level of performance and luxury? Visit Midway today and explore our stunning lineup of over 110 new Buicks and GMCs. Midway Chevrolet Buick GMC in Kearney or thinkmidway.com/GM.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
This broadcast is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Southeast Community College. Head to southeast.edu and discover your path to possible.
Did you know that Teammates Mentoring is the largest school-based mentoring program in the nation? But we still need your help. Over 500 students are waiting for a mentor like you. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them to reach their full potential. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Welcome back, joined by winning head coach Scott Steinbrook with the Kearney Bearcats. First ever Central Nebraska tournament, and the Bearcats are the champions, and you do it in dramatic fashion. Coach, how you feeling?
Well, we feel pretty good. You know, we lost a hard-fought shootout a week ago at Norfolk. Kids were kind of down in the dumps after that one. We said it's not going to be the last one we're in. And just to have it happen against a great team like Lex in a home tournament, kind of a new tournament that's created a little bit of buzz in the soccer community here, I couldn't be happier for our guys to not only win it, but win it in dramatic fashion like that. It was just a really fun afternoon for our program.
Walk us through the game. You got the goal early by Slaymaker for opening 5 minutes, and clearly a boost. Then you had to have you be on the back foot a little bit for the remaining 75.
Yeah, it felt good to get that first goal. That's been a bit of a problem of ours. We've conceded in the opening 15 or 20 minutes several times this year, so to score first, it was good and bad because I think it kind of woke Lexington up a little bit. We were pinned in there for most of the rest of the half, even playing with the wind. Lexington certainly earned the goal that they scored to tie it up. And then second half, the game was wide open. It was stretched, as we say in the soccer world, and they were attacking us and we were attacking them. And I'm actually shocked there weren't any goals scored, as many chances as there were. And then it comes down to penalties. It's 50-50. You trust your shooters, you trust your goalkeepers. Each goalkeeper made one great save, and I was very happy to see Hayden Schwartz get that second one. So it was an exciting moment for him as well.
What was the approach to overtime? And what was the message? I'm not sure if you're a coach who said, let's get to penalties or let's try to win it prior to, even though that was ultimately what happened.
Well, we chose the win first. We won the toss going into the first overtime, and we were tired because we only used a couple subs off the bench today. And we said, with Lex having their backup goalkeeper in there, let's try to take some shots from distance, try to test the new goalkeeper. And we did a little bit, but didn't find any results on it. And then in the second overtime, we said defend and counter. And that's how we play a lot of times, and we were kind of bunkered in there. But, you know, we countered, had a couple little chances, then I think both teams were just gassed. With about 2 or 3 minutes left in the second overtime, I think everybody in the place knew it was probably going to end up in penalties.
Well, Coach, we're going to bring Hayden over next. What can you say? I mean, obviously he made 2 huge saves, but what does he offer this team from a keeper perspective?
You know, he's only a sophomore, but he doesn't play like a youngster out there. He got 3 or 4 starts last year due to an injury. So to get some varsity experience as a freshman was great for him, and he's just built on that confidence as a sophomore and has played fantastic, and I'm sure he'd be the first to credit the guys in front of him as well playing defense. But we always want our goalkeeper to get one of the penalties. We say, hey, shooters are going to make 4 or 5. If our goalkeeper can get one, that'll put us in a position to win. And to his credit, he got that second one. And that's a goalkeeper's dream, the walk-off save on the 5th save of the shootout. So that's pretty exciting for him and the rest of the guys.
Well, Coach, appreciate it. We'll bring Hayden over now and talk to him about his performance, but congrats on the big win.
Appreciate you guys covering us again. It's great.
All right, if you could help me also get Hayden over here, Coach, that would be appreciated. Hayden's being interviewed by another news outlet currently, so we may not be able to get him for a couple of minutes. 8:22 to go. He is our Nebraska Orthopedic Center player of the game. We'll take one more quick break and talk to Hayden before getting ready for the Scott and Kearney girls game that's coming up shortly.
Hey sports fans, heading to the big game tonight? Make sure you stop by Speedy Mart before you hit the stadium. Fuel up your car and grab your favorite snacks and drinks to keep your energy high. Whether it's chips, soda, or a quick meal, Speedy Mart has everything you need to kick off your game night right. Don't miss out. Swing by Speedy Mart for all your pre-game essentials.
Speedy Mart snack.
This broadcast is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. See the trainer. Need relief from pain or support for recovery? Don't see just anyone. See the trainer. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln. Proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Welcome back, our Nebraska Orthopedic Center player of the game, Hayden Schwartz, with some hardware in front of him and the hero of the Central Nebraska Tournament Championship. Hayden, walk us through, not the save yet, but the mentality when you knew you were going to PKs. How were you feeling and how did you mentally prepare?
So, you know, goalkeepers have one of the most nerve-wracking positions when it comes to PKs because it's kind of all on them, you know. So you just got to go in, stay consistent with your PKs and not let the nerves get to you.
Did Coach tell you anything prior to?
He told me just do what I usually do and just watch what they're doing.
Well, that was my next question. Are you a keeper that, you guess and just go, or are you actually reacting before deciding which way to read?
You can somewhat read the way they're going through their hips, but a lot of the time it is just a guessing game.
Well, walk me through the first save. They both were very similar, but what did you see there?
So, it all just kind of came in slow motion. It made that first initial dive. It came right to me. I just knew I had it.
Second was pretty much a carbon copy. After you made the save, can you take me back to the emotions that you felt knowing that you had won your team the victory?
Oh, it's an absolutely amazing feeling to know that the game was pretty much on me and that I could come out with a win for my team.
Lastly, how does it feel to be holding that and to be on this Kearney team that's won the first ever Central Nebraska Tournament championship that will probably be a tradition for years to come?
It feels absolutely amazing to win this first trophy, and hopefully we can do it years to come.
Hayden Schwartz, just a sophomore, so he could do it 2 more times with the Bearcats, but for now they are the first ever champions of the Central Nebraska Tournament. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to Kearney. Final score 2-1. That wraps up our coverage of the boys game. We'll be back for our pregame of the girls, Kearney versus Scott, very, very shortly here on News Channel Nebraska.
Looking for a car that isn't new but is new to you? Midway's got it. Over 150 pre-owned cars, trucks, and sport utilities now at Midway in Kearney, and each comes with a 30-day exchange privilege. Midway Auto Dealerships in Kearney, Nebraska, or thinkmidway.com.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Did you know that Teammates Mentoring is the largest school-based mentoring program in the nation? But we still need your help. Over 500 students are waiting for a mentor like you. Meeting with a student just once a week in school can make a positive impact on their life by providing a sense of hope and helping them to reach their full potential. So what are you waiting for? Head over to teammates.org today to learn more about how you can get involved. Join the team. Be a mentor.